ITV transmits regional news every day to millions of people around the country, bringing news that's local to them. There are 9 regions in England and Wales with dedicated services for Ulster, Scotland and the Channel Islands. Aside from these flagship news programmes, there are lunchtime and late evening bulletins alongside the network news, as well as regular political programmes that look at how what's going on in Westminster and Europe affects people locally. Producing them is a real team effort. Whilst our presenters are the face of the news, there is a core group of journalists, camera operators, technicians and news support staff who all play a vital role in bringing the news to TV and computer screens. In this film, we're going to guide you through a variety of roles that make up an ITV News team and look at some of the ways in which you could start a career in the TV industry. Let's start with the role of the head of news, who oversees the whole operation. What do they do and how can you become one?
Head of News is essentially the conductor of the orchestra. They set the tone, the agenda for the programme, for the news gathering service, and then really bring everyone together from the technical, the production and the editorial teams to make it all happen for the 6 o'clock programme.
Well, thanks to advances in technology, the images are the most advanced yet of the rep.
Essentially, we've got the correspondents, the reporters, the production journalists, and they are news gathering in the morning and through part of the afternoon, and then the news executive and the gallery team are getting all that content back and making sure that when we go to air at 6 o'clock, it all works in the way we want to do and with the quality that we're looking for. I love my job because every day is different. You do have different stories to chase. You never know what's going to happen during the day. You think you've got a perfect programme together, and at 5 o'clock a big story breaks and you have to throw it all up in the air and start again and still meet that deadline.
On air in 10 seconds, 9, 8.
My advice to people is don't just go and do a media studies degree. They certainly do have a place, but we're just as interested in someone that's done a degree in maths or gone and do a science or a language degree. They bring new ideas and new skills into the newsroom, and you can do the journalism or the technical training as a postgraduate course.
The roles on news teams can be divided into those behind the camera, like on the news desk, and those in front of the camera, such as a reporter, correspondent or presenter. Now, some people are happy to work across both roles, but they all need a full understanding of the production process.
Southgate opened at a pretty ropey time for the retail industry. Confidence was at something of an ebb, and many of the units were like this one here, empty. I'm a reporter for ITV Regional News, which means I do the full gamut of stories, from the grim stories to the funny and finalies to a bit of travel as well. I report, I do the camera work, I edit, I research my own stories, so it's an incredibly varied and really interesting job. I started the traditional route actually. I went to college, university, newspapers. I was in newspapers for 3 years. I moved across television 10 years ago, and I started off low down there as a researcher, a producer, working my way up to a reporter. I really enjoy the multi-skilling, doing the camera work, the editing, as well as the researching and the reporting side of it as well, because you're always testing a different type of your brain. You're always using a different talent to try to do your job, and how many people can say that?
Thank you, Fred.
Good evening to you. Tonight we bring you exclusive pictures of the Titanic as you've never seen her before. They've come from the very latest expedition to the ship, which of course sank on her maiden voyage from Southampton to New York nearly 100 years ago. The presenter's role is simply to inform and entertain, to communicate with the audience, with the viewers, so the viewers have got someone they can trust to impart news to them, information to them, but someone they like because they're friendly.
It is chaos, but what I really love about television is the team effort. You've got so many people working behind the scenes to make this television, this half-hour programme, really work for you. And it's great to be the face fronting that, and it's the best feeling in the world.
Good evening. There are warnings today that cuts in defence spending will run too deep and put military operations at risk. I think you've got to be calm. You've got to know the stories. You don't need to know a lot about a lot, but you need to know a little about a lot, so that if things do go wrong, if the auto cue breaks down, you can get through. You know what the story's about, you can talk about the story. If heaven forbid the package goes down, it's very useful to be able to talk about the story. So you've got to know a bit about most of the stories you're doing.
It's the most fantastic occupation, and my advice, and lots of young people do ask me, how do I get in, is make an absolute nuisance of yourself. Pester the regional companies or wherever you want to work, be it TV or radio or whatever. Pester them. Don't go away until in the end they give you a chance, give you a break, and then it's up to you.
Start now. If this is the career you're thinking about, go out, contact your local newspaper, contact your local radio station, say to them, can I come and visit you for a day? Just see what the job entails and you'll know. So just get as much experience as you can now, and you'll be brilliant by the time you finish your degree if you decide to get one.
There are so many ways of getting into journalism now and ending up doing what I do, that it's wrong to be prescriptive. There is no right way. There is only a right way for you.
Of course, the editorial staff don't work alone. They work with a huge number of technical and administrative staff that make sure their work gets on air and online.
Okay, next up we're going to come to the fours, okay? So the nibs on four, the fours are next. Sangus is going to be on camera 1. And I'm going to roll the SOT in, okay? So after Most Wanted, I'm going to roll the SOT in on A.
As a director, I'm responsible for getting the programme on air, first and foremost. But my bigger responsibility is bringing both crews together, technical and editorial, and making sure the programme runs to time on air, both in the gallery and with our location crews.
And I'll be going even further back. Here we go then, coming to camera 2, ready to start.
I didn't actually come through the technical route to get where I am today. I started off in the admin as a personal assistant role, worked my way up, eventually saw an opening in the newsroom, completely changed career, moved across, got all the training I needed on the job, and I found myself in the hot seat before I knew it. It was absolutely brilliant.
I work as a technical operator, and that involves directing, sound mixing, studio work, and also working on the satellite truck, doing the camera work on there, and some editing. I don't have a media background. I didn't do a media degree, and I didn't go to a media college, but I came here through interest, and it never really been a disadvantage for me, and I enjoy what I do, and I think that's the main thing. If you're excited about something, just put yourself forward, get involved, and enjoy and have a laugh. And I think that's the best way of learning, even if you don't have a background in media or anything, just go for it.
Hello, good morning. Things are all looking pretty good outside at the moment. Fine and dry today, clear skies tonight, and that means one thing, those temperatures taking a bit of a tumble for this time in August. Let's take a look at the satellite picture from... These days, we don't just make news for TV, as more and more people are coming to ITV.com for news, sport and weather. Round the clock, our teams of reporters and correspondents are keeping things online up to date, so that you can get the information you need when you want it. We're on Twitter and Facebook too. There's no set way into TV and news, and everyone's experience is different. And there's no background that makes you better suited for a career here. But keenness, passion and experience will take you a long way.
For newsrooms to be successful and have the widest possible appeal to the audience they're trying to reach, they must really be diverse. They must ensure that they're not just one type of the community. It needs to really be ensured that all faiths, all cultures, all sexes are represented in the newsroom, and that way you end up with the best source of stories. You're more in touch with your audience, and if you're more in touch with your audience, you make better programs and therefore more successful, and that's really what we're all trying to achieve.
When you turn on television news, you'll see people reporting and presenting from all different types of backgrounds, and that is really encouraged. So people shouldn't look at TV and say, oh no, I'll never get on, because that's not true. Everyone is encouraged, no matter where you're from.
When I was younger, I used to think, oh my gosh, I'm never going to have to use Punjabi in my work. But the number of times I've been called on to say, can you translate this for me? So I just think anything that you have to offer as an individual can work in a media environment.
You need to be diverse to reach out to the audience we're trying to reach out to, and therefore vitally important that the people we employ come from all sorts of different backgrounds, creeds, religions, etc., in order to reach out and touch that audience.
I think ITV's a great place to be. It encourages talent, it encourages young people, it's open to ideas, it wants to recruit the very most talented people that there are, people who have energy, have thoughts about how they want to change television and want to make programmes that appeal to all our viewers.
You can find out more about work experience and trainee schemes that ITV offers on our website. And hopefully, if you've seen that working for us is exciting, then we look forward to welcoming you in the future, whoever you may be, as you begin your career with ITV News.